All right, it's a frigid 31 degrees Fahrenheit out here. And so I'm just gonna put this thing on real quick and then I'll probably put my insulated layer back on. So this is a worsted wool weekender. That's a lot of W's in a row. Okay, that's a worsted wool weekender from Filson. This is not a current production item. The closest thing to this that I've seen Filson making lately is the mile marker, and they make the mile marker out of a bunch of different materials, the same as they made the weekender, and very similar. If there are differences between them, I don't know what they are. This is obviously an older out of production model. This is the worsted wool. The worsted wool is going to be very similar to forestry cloth. For comparison here, I have my forestry cloth pullover, and looking at the two, I'm not sure what you call the diagonal ribs on the fabric, but the diagonal ribs on this fabric are finer, and this is coarser, although the feel by hand is about the same. So, and I don't really know what this worsted wool is by weight, but it feels very similar to this guy, and these two pair together great. But the advantage to worsted wool is that it tends to be thinner, but it's tighter. So for its thickness, you get pretty solid wind resistance and okay rain resistance. I haven't worn this in a lot of real inclement weather yet because I just got it. I got a killer deal on this thing, man. Absolutely killer deal. But if you layer appropriately, you'll be fine. So this is definitely a jacket that you could wear in like spring. It's a, you call it a 3-season jacket. I wouldn't wear this jacket by itself. I would call it a 4-season jacket because again, if you layer appropriately, it's gonna work great. And 2 thinner layers of wool will outperform an equivalent thickness in a thicker material as opposed to a single layer. So something I'll point out about this before I get into the details here is this worsted wool is a thinner material. If it is similar to this guy, it's going to be about 13 ounces for a square yard. So if you look at these Mackinaw wool pants here, these are 26 ounces per square yard. So that's double the weight per square yard for Mackinaw wool over this. I would say that the wind resistance performance of this is better than the Mackinaw, but I would say the water resistance performance of the Mackinaw is better than the worsted wool. So what happens, if you look at this Mackinaw, it's got a fuzzy exterior, like hair just clings to this stuff like crazy, right? But that fuzzy exterior really does a great job at shedding water. So if you're getting actively rained on, especially in harder rain, the droplets kind of disperse on the surface because they hit that fuzzy surface and they don't just sink right into the fabric. With this, there's not really that fuzzy surface to break up the raindrops. So when the raindrops hit you, they just almost immediately soak the wool. Well, the benefit to wool is that it can keep you warm when it's wet. Okay, great. In fact, you can go to Weatherwool's website and they did a little science experiment and they found that their fabric actually produces heat when it's wet. It's definitely worth checking out. I'm not a scientist. Go look at it. There's a lot of interesting material science involved in this stuff. So anyway, that's the performance difference you're going to see in a tightly spun worsted wool versus the Mackinaw wool that Filson offers. So I don't think that they've ever done a mile marker in worsted wool. I could be wrong about that, but I know for sure they've done mile markers with a Mackinaw wool, or if it's not Mackinaw wool, it's the same style of fabric as Mackinaw wool, so it's going to have that fuzzy kind of exterior. And you can also find weekenders that are made out of wax cotton, Mackinaw wool, and then this worsted wool material. And they made this particular worsted wool one out of gray or green. Obviously I have the green. So now getting into the details of this jacket, we have a single zippered pocket here. It is so generously sized you can reach under your own armpit. So there's a lot of room in there, no problem sticking a huge cell phone in there, whatever you need. You have 2 snap down cargo pockets here. The flap is a single layer of wool, and then it seems to have some sort of cotton under it. And then the pocket here is under 2 layers of worsted wool because your hand pocket is right behind the cargo pocket. And so that's shaped so that you can do that. And anything you put in the cargo pocket, you will feel under your palm. I like that better than having the hand pocket behind the cargo pocket, because when you put stuff in there and it's sitting on your knuckles, I don't like that. If it's hard, it's really uncomfortable. So that's something to keep in mind. Really nice though, and you can see the length is good. It's kind of like, I don't know what you call that, a car coat maybe. And then here on the front, and the Weekender was made to be for the weekend. You know, it's a casual jacket. It's not supposed to be real hardcore use. So this does not have a double zip on it. Now for me personally, I don't really care. If I really needed the space, I would just snap the storm flap shut how I wanted and just leave the zipper unzipped. But anyway, so we have a single YKK zip here. There you go. And then a snap storm flap. If I can get that. Okay. And the buttons are powder coated and ice green on this one. I would imagine with the gray one, they're probably powder coated, something like that. Okay, anyway, we'll just do that. And then the collar here is 2 layers of worsted wool, and you can flip it up, and it's nothing, again, nothing special there. It's just typical jacket collar. So that's great. Open it back up. We have a single zippered interior pocket here, and we have a pull cord on both sides to cinch a waist up and prevent updrafts from getting past your waist. So, pretty well featured. There are 2 snaps on the wrist as well, so you can have a loose setting or a tight setting. And, the fabric on this is it's gonna have, the same performance as you'd expect from wool, even if the garment itself isn't necessarily designed for real high performance, but it's there. And it works great for me. So I just got this thing. I haven't even really worn it that much because it's been so cold out. In fact, I really want to put my insulated jack shirt back on because it's so stinking cold. But, it's been so cold out that a thin outer jacket like that hasn't been particularly well suited to our climate the last couple of weeks. But that'll be a great fall and spring jacket for sure. And I still would stand by that it's a great winter jacket so long as you have adequately layered under it. So for real active wear, I like to layer if I'm going to be out sweating a lot, bicycling or hiking or whatever it is, exercising in some way. So that would be my pick for that. I would layer, and I already have done that to some degree where I've layered underneath my forestry cloth pullover here, and then I throw this guy out on top of it, and I've been nothing but completely impressed with the wind resistance and the warmth qualities of these and the breathability qualities of these. The thing that would scare me is if it was really cold out and you're in the middle of nowhere and it's just dumping rain. You're getting wet. But again, wool will keep you warm even when it's wet. You'll just be kind of miserable from being wet. So things to consider. I don't know that there's really anything else to say about this other than for sure this older one is made in the United States. You can still find these Weekenders out there. And I got an absolutely killer deal on this thing. And it's like basically brand new. So look on Poshmark, look on Grail. Keep your eyes peeled for a deal. And my stats, as always, I'm 6'2.5". I am 260 pounds. Very broad across the chest. This Weekender is a size extra large, and it fits wonderfully. So that's all I have to say about that. Thanks for watching.